Oh, what a feeling. RusTundra. I should have made this video when it was daylight outside. I've been working on my buddy's Toyota. I worked on it last year. I welded up the rack and pinion frame. Yep, that's a big chunk of steel I welded on. I let it rust. It's seasoned to match. Anyhow, I got that fixed. Now I've got to put a couple inner boots on. Inner boots, yeah? And backing plates. Yep, crispy critters. And brake caliper was seized on one side, and this one wasn't much better. The boots were all cracked, so bootsy. Oh my God, this thing is such a piece of junk. It's basically a parts truck with 150,000 miles that he paid $5,500 for. So brake line's not too bad here, but look at this brake line. Let this baby focus. What do you think about that? That is rotted junk. But here's the problem. And the power steering rack boots are torn, but big deal. Here's the problem. I just changed one of the big fuses right over here. And this fuse from the dealer is $27. From Rock Auto it was $2.50. But you have to lift out the inside of the fuse assembly. It actually unsnaps and the whole thing slips out, but it ain't easy. And you bolt it in, and it takes a tiny bolt over here and a slightly bigger bolt over there. You can just see the edge of it, but it wasn't easy, but I got it. It took me a half an hour to put the fuse box back together. So my buddy comes over. He's happy with the progress I'm making, even though it's taken me a year to do it. Beep, beep. I'll show you something else in a second. Someone put a used muffler on, and there were no hangers, so I got those from a junkyard in Detroit. So no air conditioning, no heater control. I put an hour into it, and I can't figure out what's wrong. I went to a couple of Toyota forums, and one guy said the fan's no good. So I took the fan out. The fan's perfect. I ran power to it with a power wire here, jumped from the battery, and the fan's perfect. There's nothing inside it whatsoever. It's clean inside. There's no power at the wire. There's a resistor here, and all the wires disappear up into the dash. So I know you guys are saying, oh, it's the fuse. Yeah, well, I wish it was that easy. So I took off this little cover here. This ain't my first rodeo. Wiper, turn, ECU, four-wheel drive, gauge, ignition, cargo, tail, power, ECU, everything's fine. I checked all that. I'll show you why the battery hold down is here, and it's surplus parts now. So under the hood, this main power one here has a heater relay. So I got the heater relay to go click, 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 and the heater fuse right beside it, the 50 amp is good. So I went to the forums, and they're talking about the resistor and the fan and the power wire. Well, everything's checking out, but I've got no fan, nothing, zero. And I know I'm getting some juice because when you turn this control, look at that. So something's working, but I had the engine running for a half an hour to charge the battery. I tried to remove this dash panel with a screwdriver. I had my fingers behind there, but it ain't letting go easy. And also my lighters don't work. Oh, that looks real nice. My lighters have no juice because I was trying to get power from here or a ground, and these things don't work. So I took out the glove box. You just pop the sides and the glove box drops down, but there's nothing much to see there. So I don't know why I've got no heater fan. Beep, 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 beep. Don't lock the keys inside. This is a rare beast. It's a Tundra, which is the bigger model. Kind of like an F-150 with a 5-speed, 4-wheel drive, and a V6. My buddy looked far and wide for this truck, and unfortunately he found it because it came from Pennsylvania. The body looks real clean, a couple of scrapes, but it is rusted junk. Toyota actually had a program where they would coat the frames with rust-proofing paint. Well, all it does is seal in the rust. So my buddy got sucked in. It's got a leaky gas tank. They had a program where they changed the frames only up to 12 years. And when he bought this truck, it was 13 years old. So he got sucked in. He paid big money for it. And when he drove it from Pennsylvania to New York, the rack was loose in the frame. So I've sandblasted that and welded in some chunks of steel. I didn't bother spray painting them because what's the difference? This thing was rotted. That's all welded. Anyways, that's all fixed. He took it to a shop with a rack and they put it up and the guy said, hey, nice welding. I said, thank you, thank you. It's just a rot box, so he's going to take it to Mexico where he spends the winter. Look at that, rusted. So I'm going to have to get some backing plates. Anybody know where to get them cheap? They're 80 bucks each from what I could find in AutoZone and Advance, and Rock Auto don't sell them. Here's my jumper wire. Why don't we have a fan? What did I do wrong, or what am I missing? He said it was working when he drove it back 2 or 3 years ago from Pennsylvania. I checked every fuse. I used my test probes. This one's not working for some reason. This crappy one is. And everything seems to be working, but I don't know. I got no juice at the blower motor. I'll take that off for the night. No juice at the blower motor. No juice at the resistor relay. I'm not a good 12-volt person. And no lighter. So is there another fuse somewhere else in the interior? Well, I've been poking around the forums. I just feel like a dummy sitting in my chair. I have my chair sitting right here. Just sitting around, reading the forums, blah, 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 blah. Alrighty, I'm not scrapping that truck, and I might have another one coming from Fort Payne, Alabama. Crank that baby up. Why isn't my heater working? Help!